Your pet is a member of the family, just like everyone else. At Mapleview Animal Hospital, each animal is treated with the same care that they've become accustomed to in your home. The veterinarians at Mapleview Animal Hospital want your pet to feel at home, even when getting a checkup, shot, x-ray, or vaccination. Going to the vet can be difficult for your pet. Make it easy with Mapleview Animal Hospital.
We're talking with Lorma Freestone of the Holland Area Arts Council on a gloomy, dark, maybe a little rainy Monday of Tulip Time week. And perhaps a lot of people would say, well, it's not a good day to go see Tulip Time. The tulips are all going to be closed up. The sun's not out. But it's a good day to be inside. And for you and the Holland Area Arts Council, a tradition for years and years has been the quilt show.
Yes, it has. And no matter what the gloominess is outside, we've got tulips blooming inside at the Arts Council. And some of them are on fabric quilts and some of them are on paintings. So we welcome everybody to come down. The quilt show is a really terrific tradition for us. We've been doing it now for 5 years actually. And the Quilt Committee is a group of women in Holland and Zealand and the Lakeshore area who are dedicated to making this a reality. There are over 80 quilts in this show, everything from tiny little delicate quilts that are just a few inches square to these enormous 95-inch square pieces. And everything from very, very contemporary to very traditional antique quilts. So there's something for everyone here. And these, we have a call to quilters that goes out early in the year, and then over the course of the year, they accept all these different quilts and kind of jury them in. And so what we have are some of the finest pieces.
Pardon my ignorance, but I'm going to ask an ignorant question. Maybe some people who are not as well versed about Tulip Time might ask this. Okay, what's the connection between quilts and tulips? Where is this connection that makes this a part of Tulip Time, an appropriate part of Tulip Time?
Well, of course, if we're celebrating Dutch heritage, we're also celebrating the tulip as a blossom, which is really the main thing about Tulip Time. The picture or the presentation of the tulip is quite common in the traditional quilt patterns. Now, as I said before, a lot of contemporary patterns have been made, and they really go wild with their tulip representation. So I think that's what we also want to appeal to a lot of people that are here for other than just looking at the tulip and just looking at Dutch heritage. There are a lot of visitors who come, and it's a time for our local artisans to really show their stuff and show how they can present their creative abilities to the public.
This is not just the more modern quilt machine type of quilts come out. You have some authentic, and people that are showing how they authentically do it. Yes. Back in the homeland.
Yes, we do. We are really thrilled to have a few people that are here in period costume from the 1800s to show how quilting was done by hand. There is a 60 stitch per inch kind of a thing that people are talking about is the rule for some of these quilters who do it by hand. Now, that is not to say that it's not wonderful to see some of these machine stitched quilts, because it certainly enables people to create a lot more quilts. Now, the quilting itself is one part of what you see on these pieces. What the piecing is another part of it, and there's all kinds of examples of piecing together the pieces of fabric, and there's applique, there's embroidery, there's all kinds of art that go into these gorgeous blanket covers, and the quilting is just one piece of it, one part of the process.
One other thing that is being on display at the Arts Council as part of the quilt show is some vintage sewing machines.
They are one of my favorite things about this show because they're just darling. I mean, they're these wonderful little machines, and it makes you think when you look at the dates of these machines into the probably mid 1800s when they started making sewing machines, the genius that went into creating these machines. And they're not only incredibly intricate and wonderfully mechanized or mechanical, but they're beautiful. So the making of these gorgeous little machines is really kind of fun to look at.